Привет, чувак. Всем, кто зашел на стрим. Я еще одну программу включу, чтобы следить за показателем температуры процесса. Чисто уже интересно. Сегодня у нас игра Call of Juarez Gunslingers. Самая лучшая игра, на мой взгляд, по ковбоев. Честно, одна из самых лучших, на мой взгляд, одна из самых красивых, с лучшей шутерной составляющей новой игра плюс. Я думаю, давайте на настоящем Диком Западе сделаем на максимальном уровне сложности. Без занятия пусы. Я думаю, давайте на настоящем Диком Западе. Да, у меня голос отвратительный, нахуй. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Don't I know you, sir?
Don't believe so. I haven't been here in many years. Name's Silas Greaves.
Silas Greaves? The bounty hunter?
Used to be.
Well, what are you doing here in Abilene?
Just passing through. Got a little business to take care of.
Well, sir, it would be an honor if you would allow me to buy you a beer.
Hell, son, it would be my honor to drink it.
I'm Molly. Howdy.
I'm Dwight. That's Jack and Steve. Ben's behind the bar. Oh, I bet you got some great stories.
A couple.
Any of them true?
Jack, be nice.
A few.
What about your shootout with Henry Plummer's gang in Bannock, Montana? Is that where you started as a bounty hunter? That's what it says in this here dime
Тут,
novel.
короче, смотрите, ролики охуенно сделаны, даже как-то послушать их не хочется. У них очень красивая рисовка, и, блять, вот этот кадр, он топовый.
You knew Billy the Kid?
Билли Кид один из самых лучших стрелков Дикого Запада. Конечно, она очень жестко историю переебывает. В плане там персонажа, личности и всякого такого, но насрать, честно. Это как игра с этим будет
Kid had a big chip on his shoulder and a hair-trigger temper. Made him dangerous as hell.
Но вроде Билли Кид за нас, по-моему. Хотя вроде да за нас. Ладно, сегодня без вебки, сегодня вообще так вот, чисто шаловый проверить настройки стрима. Просто у меня нагрелся до 58 градусов, ну, грубо говоря, 60. И, в принципе, нормально. 140 FPS мне хватает. Билли укусно наброшен на ферме возле Стинги Спрингс. Я читать это не буду, потому что... Тут можно взять абсолютно любой ствол, любой рейнджер. Я люблю брать с собой вот эту винтовочку и вот два стандартных револьвера.
No, Steve. The other kind of funny.
Винтовка охуенная для дальних, ну, вообще средних боев. Да ёб твою мать, блять. В смысле, блять? Да, блять, короче. Не, если что, типа, можно все будет так сделать. Окей.
Was it Pat Garrett's posse?
Oh, yeah. I heard the shots and I knew I had to move fast. Garrett and his army of deputies had surrounded the entire homestead.
out, goddammit! They're coming from the
I
rear!
decided to help Billy and the boys out of it. So
Так,
that's
тихо,
just
блядь,
what I did.
забаговался нахуй. Ты чё, блядь? Заезжаем.
As the governor of New Mexico was paying for the kids' apprehension, Garrett was able to hire every gun hand in Lincoln County.
Извините. О, это было в голову. Да, это было в голову.
Watch out! He's one of them! God damn it, he's right behind us! Where the hell's Garrett?
Garrett's men were running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off.
Bitches running!
Чё, блядь?
Still, one of them reached the water
Ooh.
tower. Not a bad idea. It would be a turkey shoot from up there. Luckily, these shooters Garrett hired weren't the sharpest tools in the shed. The right position is very important. Personally, I prefer to be on top.
Oh, you do you?
Indeed, darling. But where was I? Oh, yeah.
Watch your flank!
Then, I heard a friendly voice yelling at me from the window.
Back door!
We'll cover you!
Try aiming, you idiots!
Truth be told, things weren't much better behind the house. I cut their numbers in half, but that just made the ones that were left twice as mad. They made up for their lack of skill with a seemingly endless supply of ammo. It was a bit of a slog, but I finally fought my way around the back of the house.
Здрасте.
And like that, I was inside. None the worse for... I passed Dirty Dave,
Грязный Дэйв.
and upstairs I found Billy and Charlie Bowdry.
Билли Кит и Чарли Боуди. Чарли Боуди не помню, кто это, а вот Билли Кит один из самых опасных, самых диких вот чувачков на Диком Западе.
Billy looked at me and said, "About time, amigo. Grab a gun and get to the window."
Wait, so you were friends with Billy the Kid?
Yeah, sort of.
Where'd he come from?
Anyway, we were surrounded by dozens of deputized shooters who wanted to do us harm.
Я обожаю эту игру, серьезно, нахуй идти.
Billing's worth $500, dead or alive. I can keep this up all
I'm telling
day.
you, Garrett's men were dropping like flies, but they
think I
just
got
kept
one.
on coming.
Where the hell Garrett get to? He's missing all the action. This is...
That's when Charlie got hit. "They're catching us in a crossfire," shouted Billy. "Get to the other side."
Чё дальше где?
I don't know how many of those cocksuckers I personally put down, but it was pretty clear, even to Billy, that maybe discretion was the better part of valor.
What's that mean?
It means that it was time to cut and run. "They got a Gatling," Billy shouted. "Get the horses and bring them round back.
Those
I'll
poor
draw
sons
their
of
attention."
bitches are done for.
He directed that order at me, and I thought, why the hell do I have to do it? Many would have fled in my place. But I had that false sense
Бля,
of
я помню, почему я
invincibility
не
that
люблю.
many young men have.
Я помню, почему я не
Like
люблю
Jack
этот.
here.
Да
What are
иди ты
you
нахуй.
saying, old man?
Jack is just Joshua.
Почему я не люблю этот уровень сложности? Я
Mr.
вспомнил,
Greaves,
потому что...
please continue.
Please, call me Silas, ma'am. Now, where was I?
You were heading for the barn. Sounds like Garrett hired a whole regiment of hired guns.
Yeah, and just when I thought I was done with them, more of these hapless bastards would pop up. Finally, I had the stables within my reach.
дуэли. Тут охуенные
That's
дуэли.
when I met
Но я не
Sheriff
помню, как их
Pat
играть
Garrett.
правильно
I
на
read
этой
you
игре,
went
вот
toe to
честно.
toe with him, sir. That backstabbing bastard with that tacked-on tin star. You challenged him to a showdown.
You read that in a dime novel?
It said he showed no fear as he took your measure with eyes like a rattlesnake.
А, во, все. Тогда все ок. Тут, короче, надо играть вот так вот, то есть сохранять инстанцию на нем и КБ тянуться. Потом успеть. Вот так
And
вот
that you
сделать.
killed him in a fair fight.
Is that what that Penny Dreadful says? No, boy. That ain't what I meant when I said I met Pat Garrett. So let me start again. I finally reached those damn stables.
Она сейчас просто уебет.
Stepped inside, and bam! Last thing I heard was Garrett's voice. That's not Billy.
And go on. How did it end?
Вы выжили, рассказывайте.
Boy, that was just the beginning.
Ясно убито, фокус 95, скорость 8. Здесь подлинности, точность 32. Ну, зато я не сдох ни разу.
So what happened? Did Garrett arrest you?
Yeah, after I came to, the bastard had clocked me with his Colt.
And the kid surrendered?
When he realized there was no getting out of there alive,
So they locked you up in Lincoln?
indeed they did. Sentenced me to hang right along with the kid. It's important to know that I was only riding with Billy so I could find the bastard I was after.
Где-то тут... А, во.
He was with John Kinney's gang.
Там, типа, видно
They were
висельницу.
sworn enemies of Billy's regulators.
Why were you after him?
I owed that son of a bitch a bullet for what he had done to me and mine. Instead, all I got for myself was a goddamn death sentence. Luckily, it was right around then that I
Начинается
heard Billy
веселуха.
make his move. He shot Jim Bell and a few other guards as he made his getaway. Later, they wrote that some lady friend planted a pistol for him in the privy. What the papers didn't say is that Billy helped me escape too.
Спасибо.
My first order of business was finding a firearm.
И мы нашли сокровища.
Luckily, I located Deputy Bob Ollinger's mean-ass shotgun.
Это мощнее, чем 12-й калибр, это мощнее, чем 20-й калибр. чем меньше вот этот... Ну, вот смотри, 20-й это слабее, чем 12-й, и 10-й это мощнее, чем 12-й. То есть, чем меньше вот эти число, тем, типа, лучше. И это охуенно. Блять.
It could blow a man clear off his feet. You hardly had to aim the damn thing. Guards were everywhere looking for him.
Это, знаете, я хочу вот это взять.
Can't let the kid get away.
Здесь, чтобы красиво отстреливать.
I had to jump from roof to roof like a damn alley cat. I followed the planks where I could, but some of that wood was slippery as hell. The whole town was up in arms. And suddenly, I was a fugitive.
How the hell did the kid escape?
So that bastard you were after, what did he do?
He did me and my family a grievous harm.
Он
But I knew
убил
if I was
брата
ever gonna
и,
find him, I
по-моему,
would
двух
need to get
старших
my
братьев.
ever-loving ass out of there.
Типа смотрите, ситуация такая, то что,
I tried to be
типа, те
stealthy
честно
and
выиграли
sneak my
его в
way
покер,
past.
но тому это не понравилось. Секундочку. И тому, типа, это не понравилось,
But hell, if they weren't all waiting for
и
me.
он просто повесил 3 братьев.
Apparently, some
3
of them thought
два
I was
брата умерли, а один остался живых.
He's in town somewhere.
И все.
See, me and the kid shared a certain similarity in build and coloring. I was just glad I had Deputy Bob's mean-ass shotgun.
Get your headstone. Give him to me.
Children here.
So much lead was whizzing by my head.
Блять,
it
его
was
эта
like
хуйня
everyone
спасла,
in
блять,
Lincoln
видео
wanted to put me
нахуй.
in the ground.
Его,
I
сука,
knew I
видео
needed
спасло
to find a
от
horse.
хедшота.
Though I never did have a great fondness for those four-legged grass eaters. Smelly, sweaty, ungrateful beasts.
О,
But where was the kid while you were busy getting shot at?
Gone.
охуенно.
And that's when it occurred to me
Охуенно.
why Billy set me free. So I could be a hapless decoy and draw attention while he snuck out of town.
Что больше никого не видел, из-за этого я его выбил больше.
I knew if I made it out of there in one piece, no one would put a price on my head.
Блять.
Because everybody in Lincoln would be dead?
No, because they all thought I was Billy. And all that blame would fall on him.
Let the women off the street. Arm yourself. How the hell did he get away?
Спасибо.
Let him get away. You'll die for this. You hear me?
Finally, I found what I was looking for. The stables on the edge of town.
I guess Billy saved your ass, taking out Bob Ollinger the way he did.
Billy didn't kill Bob.
Sure he did. He dispatched him right after he shot Deputy Bell.
No, sir. Because Bob came right up behind me, angry as hell that Billy had lit out. Hello, Bob, I said. I think you better let me go. And he says, I don't think so, boy. Not with my shotgun. So we stood there in the middle of the street, eyeball to eyeball. He intended to kill me, and I knew I had no choice but to defend myself.
Бля, это Андрей нахуй.
I killed him in a fair fight. Everybody saw I had no damn choice. Well, Lincoln got a mite depopulated that day. Pat Garrett gunned down Billy 3 months later, so his escape was all for naught anyway.
Зачем?
So where'd you go after Lincoln?
Mexico. Until I realized nobody was looking for me. I ended up taking a job at the Rurales.
The Mexican Ruales?
I was hired to help them track down the cowboys.
The most vicious outlaw gang in Cochise County? Curly Bill Brocious? Johnny Ringo?
Led by old man Clanton himself.
They must have paid you a pretty penny to take them hombres on.
Not really. But truth be told, I had my own reasons for going after those boys.
Есть. Это Карина, ты? Это Call of Duty's Gunslinger. Я просто не смогу повторить голос, как там. Это, короче, история по великого ковбойства, так
So
можно
was the
сказать.
bastard you were after now
Самая
riding with
лучшая
the
игра по
cowboys?
ковбоев.
Roscoe,
И
Bob,
я играю на
Bryant.
максимальном уровне сложности. Я, блядь, пока еще не сдох, но это на
But
самом деле
no,
легко.
this time it was a different bastard I was after. The aforementioned Mr.
Игрушка,
Ringo.
короче, по ковбоев.
And yes, he
нахуй.
was
И она топ.
working for old man Clanton.
Честно, она топ.
I came upon them robbing a
Мы хороший
stagecoach,
чувак,
which
убиваем
wasn't
плохих.
surprising,
Всё,
being they
всё,
were such
как обычно,
murderous
нахуй.
thieves and bastards. The bandits wore red scarves, so I knew they worked for the old man.
Over there!
Я могу сделать так.
I did my
Так, ладно.
best to help those.
Выебываться не будем.
Moments later, the attackers were dead, and I checked the stagecoach to see how many passengers were still breathing. None. It was then I wondered if the rocks weren't hiding more bandits. Was that all of them? Or did I just hit the rear guard? I quickly got my answer. They attacked from on high like Apaches often did. They would appear in great numbers from above and rain down lead on their hapless enemies' heads, making use of the high ground and whatever else they had. Yep, the Apaches always appeared out of nowhere, and there never seemed to be an end to them.
Hold on. Were you attacked by Apaches? What happened to the
Для чего у него
cowboys?
за патроны?
Did
Там,
I
видишь,
say
у
they
меня
were
нога будет,
Apaches?
наверное,
I
в
said
этой
Clanton's
пипел.
cowboys attacked me,
Ебать ты
Apache
предсказательница,
style. I
нахуй.
was in a pitched battle, but I was holding my own against an
А,
overwhelming
точно.
enemy
Тут,
force.
они, тут их не получится так ровно, потому что дистанция высокая. Какого хрена стоп? А, блять, он же не точно, нахуй, точно.
See, at the time,
Типа, я
I
стреляю по
was still
башке, он
pretty
не
green
стаха.
and would often blunder into regrettable situations.
Sound to the situations. А, ну да, все нормально настройки.
But I just kept shooting at anything I could see up in those damn rocks. I didn't see Ringo, and I knew he was with the cowboys. He and Roscoe Bob had done me a dreadful wrong, and I was
Я не помню,
determined
тут
to have my
прицел
revenge.
косит, нахуй, смотрите, бах. Он не умирает, бах.
To get to Ringo, I knew I'd have to fight my way past these other
Чего,
assholes
блядь?
first.
He's getting away!
Unfortunately, I was running out of ammo.
Блять, меня убило. Не, весело убивать на самом деле. Мне, кстати, первые были за 23 минуты. Бьём. Ух. Ух. Бум. Не, игрушка охуенная, Шойгу. Кстати, самое дебильное, вот этот Шойгу настоящий, который у меня в друзьях есть ВК. Все.
Unfortunately, I was running out of ammo.
И тут должен быть индикатор, который метается назад.
I immediately knew that a tactical retreat was called for, as my vengeful fury was much less impressive without the bullets to back it up.
Вычисляю гораздо меньше. Раз, стоп. Сзади? А, вперед. 2, 3. Я всех убил там. А, еще один. 2. Сука. Не, Андрюша любить не надо, Андрюша пидок. Нет. Ебать их тут! Сука, я сейчас сдохну, по-моему, блядь. У меня патронов, блядь, нет. Сука, я сдох. Да, это им в одиночной игре. Так что жена.
Luckily, serendipity was on my side as I suddenly spotted a way out of my predicament.
Ёбываем нахуй! Блять. Быстрые ноги пизды никогда не получили. Я забыл, как там выйфу, но идите нахуй.
I ran ahead as if the devil himself was after me.
Палаточка.
Bullets were whizzing by my ears, but I wasn't about to roll over and die.
У меня только 2 патрона
I
осталось.
just kept running like there was no tomorrow. Because there wouldn't be if Clanton and his men caught up with me. As I was scurrying around those caves, I thought, what was I thinking? Going up against a gang like this?
И, о чудо!
I just kept running, not knowing where the hell I was going.
У меня патронов нету, сука.
And that's when something miraculous happened. Like manna from heaven. I found the desiccated remains of what looked like an Apache warrior. The old weapon next to him supplied me with some much-needed ammunition.
Так, теперь у меня патроны хотя бы есть, нахуй я могу всем
Matt
пизды опять
Masterson
дать.
once told me it was more important to be lucky than good, and he would know. And imagine my surprise when I found a fistful of dynamite to go along with that ammo. That stroke of good fortune evened the odds and bolstered my confidence. It was time to turn the tables. Time for the prey to become the predator. Time for the hunted to become the hunter. Time.
All right, Jesus, we
Ну
get
чё,
it.
блядь, убегать нахуй.
Right where you wanted 'em.
Против тебя огромное количество бандитов. Мы, конечно, охуенный чувак, но,
That
блядь,
old man to pay for his
без
sins.
патронов мы хуй ничего сделаем. Можем, конечно, уебать одного, но... Это только одного можно уебать. Другие нас будут стрелять как самозводные вздоны и... чертовски подлый. Стейк Клентон.
I
Клинтон.
yelled out at the top of my lungs.
Ты просто, блядь, убегаем нахуй. Ладно, не получилось. На обычном сложности можно попробовать. Так, ладно.
But I knew I could not let that deter me. Not if I was to find and kill Ringo. I needed to get that old man off that gun.
Сюда. Всё, теперь заебись. А он там, блять, я чуток сторону перепутал, извините.
Most everyone
Бля,
thought
вот
it
сейчас
was
будет
the
вообще
Ruales
скучно,
who had come up
потому что
against
вот
him
так
in
делаем.
Guadalupe Canyon.
Так вот,
But
да.
it was just me. Apparently, one of the cowboys made it out of there alive.
It
And
was
told
me.
Ike and Billy Clanton that it wasn't a Mexican who took their father's life that day. They just assumed it was one of the Earps. And that little misunderstanding eventually led to that legendary gunfight at the OK Corral.
Перестрелка у леса... Блять, ебать, я ебать быстро, оказывается, игру прохожу, за 30 минут уже. Перестрелка у лесопилка одна из самых красивых. Самое красивое, наверное, будет, это когда будем перестреливаться с Апачи. Потому что
A
вот
few
там...
weeks after that dust up at the OK Corral, I was still after Johnny Ringo.
Somebody's coming!
I had tracked him and the
Так,
cowboys
я
to
ничего
their
не
hideout
предупредил,
at a sawmill.
потому что я
They
существую,
were
здрасте.
loaded for bear.
So, what exactly
Бля, это
did
было,
Johnny
кстати,
Ringo
красиво
do to
сейчас.
piss you off?
Well, him and that other
Только
bastard.
сразу выстрелил, она так
Roscoe Bob
остановилась.
Yep,
Даже не успел.
they both deserve to die, and I promise I'll tell you why.
Я обожаю видеоигры.
First, I need to tell you about the Cowboys' new boss, Curly Bill Brocious.
Herb's coming!
Get ready, boys.
Так, ладно. Вот так.
Curly Bill took charge of the
Блядь,
Cowboys
сука.
upon the old man's demise, and after that gunfight at the OK Corral,
Да
Clanton
выебывался,
wanted
блядь.
revenge.
Who is going to revenge?
So they
Дело
murdered
сначала, на самом
Morgan Earp,
деле, очень хуево
grievously
сделал.
wounded his older brother Virgil.
Потому что он это сливается.
Wyatt and Doc went on what became known as the Vendetta
Чисто,
Ride.
чисто. Блять,
hunting
нихуя не
those
чисто, сука.
outlaws down. So when I showed up, that's who they thought I was.
Так, не надо туда, не сюда. Упс. Я хотел уже
There were
выстрелить.
killers around every corner, all wearing red bandanas.
Я
I
хочу себе
wasn't
красный
about to let
бананчик, что
Ringo
ради
walk
этого.
away unscathed, and that's what drove me forward.
Бля, надо
They
бандан
say that
купить,
Ringo
сука.
was infernally fast.
I hardly saw anyone faster, boy. Certainly not Wyatt Earp. That man was all hat
Ой,
and
блядь!
no cap.
Earp wasn't much of a
Это
match
могло меня
for him,
убить.
but Doc Holliday might have taken him.
That Lunger should have kept his nose out of it. They never charged anyone for the murder of Morgan Earp.
But everybody knew that Curly shot him in the back. That was common knowledge.
Well, maybe so. But Ringo had nothing to do with it. He was just being loyal to a friend.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
What's that, Dwight?
After old man Clanton died, why didn't his son take over the
Потому
Cowboys?
что он тупой, по-моему, по истории был.
Because Ike Clanton was dumber than a box of rocks and a yellow belly to boot. Now, where was I?
Taking down the entire cowboy gang single-handed.
Indeed I was, Jack.
Блядь, на личном уничтожении всех ебучих конвоев. Ну, блядь, мы-то правы, нахуй.
I think we're in trouble!
Though it wasn't easy, as those boys had good cover.
That's just not human! Don't need no help!
Я хочу его кулаками запиздить, нахуй. Заебись. Ладно. 62 патрона, не заебись. Блять, не заебись. Че еще много выебываюсь? Надо запомнить. Немного надо выебываться. Я ж казах, как без этого. А. Оп.
There were carts everywhere, piles of lumber, and
Ебать,
God knows
физика,
what
конечно,
else
какая-то
for people
охуенная.
to hide behind. That really was one hell of a sawmill.
А, да,
Quite
тут
an
сейчас будет
impressive
битва с
operation.
боссом. Вот там вот.
And where was
Вспомнил.
Curly Bill? Did you see him?
I'm about to get to that, Ben. Patience.
Patience,
a
man,
picture here.
patience.
There was this
Там
beautiful
красивый
waterfall
водопад.
and a crystal
Кристально
clear
чистый
stream
ручей,
that led to
который
a
бежал по
verdant
какой-то
valley
зеленой
that was
долине.
truly.
Consider your picture
по-настоящему.
painted. What happened
Бля,
next?
ебать, оно
Well,
красиво.
finally the bastards that were still alive made a last stand.
Бля, надо еще кадр какой-нибудь найти, такой хороший, чтобы был водопад и вот это. Что нахуй? Да нет, еще много. Тут уже угла обзора не... А, нет, хватает, в принципе. Добавление, 144 Гц, деконсинхронизация, да, понял. Все, заебись.
Curly Bill, Johnny Ringo, and his compadres took off into the lumber yard, and I followed after.
Ща будет мудак. И, сука, он охуенно быстрый. Ну, точнее. Лёкнет, заедет и хлопнет. Курчавый бил.
Are you saying they ran? Cowardice was not in Ringo nor Curly Bill's nature.
No, sir. I never said they were running scared. They just wanted me out in the open.
Time to dance with the devil. You working for Wyatt Earp? I didn't like that son.
Блять, это уже кто?
Kill me? Did that son bitch Earp send you to kill me? Damn! How you like that?
Just gave me no choice but to take his life. But
такое
Ringo
претензия?
was nowhere to be found.
I knew you didn't kill Ringo, because he was found dead in a different location altogether.
To this day, his killer is still unknown.
Indeed. Took me a few months before I finally tracked his ass to West Turkey Creek Canyon.
Секунду, извините, кое-что забыл выключить. Выключить в плане... Фоновое приложение. Бля, у меня реально процессор на сотку загружен, заебись. Бля, выключайся, Chrome, нахуй. Погодите. А, нашел. Все. Блять, я... У меня она нормально не загрузилась, блять. Типа я свинул уже.
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Блять, чего?
Sorry I had to ruin the legend for you, boy. But the legend ain't always true. Doc Holliday had nothing to do with the death of Johnny Ringo. I was paid a healthy bounty for Ringo and Curly Bill, and realized there was real money to be made. That's why I went after Henry Plummer.
Now, wasn't he the sheriff who augmented his income by shaking down miners and robbing gold shipments?
That's the one.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. He ran that gang of thieving outlaws called the Innocents.
So it's true that you went toe-to-toe with him?
Indeed I did, son. Indeed I did.
Бля, по-моему, я за 2 часа смогу еще все пройти. Здравствуйте. Вам звонят нахуй. А он, сука, стучаться хотя до пизды, блядь.
I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant. And hunting Plumber looked like a good way to get rich quick. As the local vigilantes exposed him as the leader of the bandits and put a generous price on his head.
Все будет окей.
Plumber rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape. And that's where I thought I'd find him.
Это Call of Juarez Gunslinger, самый лучший шутан по Дикий Запад. Дикий. И я уже где-то пошел третий игры, блядь, за 40
My late
минут.
father pointed out to me more than once. God made men.
As long as you don't light up a
Samuel
cigar,
Gold
we're
made him
fine.
equal.
Oh yeah? Who the hell is that then? Don't let him get a shut up!
У него как самый мощный револьвер, блядь. Который, сука, не попадает нахуй.
I knew that dynamite wasn't mine, so I decided the polite thing would be to return it.
Хуп, хуп.
It was the biggest gold rush since Sutter's Mill in '48.
Да, блядь.
Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches. There were thieves and killers, robbing travelers and hijacking gold shipments.
2 хедшота.
Like those that ran with Plumber. Some were just regular folks
Блять.
I knew from town, drawn by greed and easy pickings. Charlie Crow, the blacksmith.
5 пуль нахуй, все мимо нахуй.
James, who worked in the stable. Plumber had a lot of men on his payroll. A hell of a lot. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand while stealing them blind with the other. I thought I was some kind of hero. I finally made it past and headed on to meet my destiny.
Is my destiny.
But first, I had something I needed to figure out. I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal. I saw an entrance. Made sense.
Блядь. Я упал, заебись.
It was the quickest way in, but that also made it more dangerous,
Так, ладно, спасибо.
as there would
Помоги отсталому.
undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way.
Блядь, я его не заметил, сука.
Besides, once you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around. And that confusing maze of corridors wouldn't even be the worst of it. Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell.
You ain't beefing me.
A single stumble or misstep can easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion.
Time to blow your shit up.
Quick reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense. Luckily, I was never one to be easily bushwhacked. I would just need to be
Пиздец.
careful not to blow myself.
Ой,
to
блядь,
pieces.
ой, блядь, я помню этот момент. Сука.
With all that gunpowder and dynamite everywhere, a body has to know what he's shooting at. One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tomb.
И чпань. И начинается, сука, реакция ебучая, химическая, пороха и огня. И я бегу нахуй. И я сейчас буду как ебучий Нео нахуй. И чпынь. И бам.
It's a good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it.
Это был супер хуёвый план.
Instead, I spotted a ladder, a way into the mine from the opposite side.
Да тут вот.
It was a long way around, but that approach seemed more sensible at the time. Of course, being I had a problem with heights, that scaffolding scared the bejesus out of me. Climbing down that ladder required some caution. Because even though I had a younger man's reflexes, I was determined not to give up, however. As Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged. That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find
Блять.
old Bob.
Довоёбывался тут еще раз. Да, хаиши нету на стримах. Видно. Раз. Лампочка 2. Лампочки. А, бутылочка 3.
You can't beat the innocents. Had enough?
And I had made it my mission to settle that score come hell or high water. But first, I would have to make a choice. Take the elevator or climb the ladder. I wanted to use the element of surprise. Plus, I figured I could use the exercise. I was warmed up already, so what the hell?
Могу вас так побить? Спасибо. Сработало.
Plummer was a mad dog killer, and the people of Nevada City deserve better.
Nevada City? Well, I thought Plummer met his maker in Bannock, Montana.
Right, well, he was the sheriff of both places at one time or another, but that's neither here nor there. The point was, taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my own.
Законник. Бандит. И отступник. Генри Пламер. Генри Пламер. Генри Пламер. Дайте, я даже не знаю, как это нормально произнести.
This is gonna hurt. Well, this day is just getting worse and worse for you, ain't it?
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged, and I could see right away that this was gonna take some doing.
Run! God damn! I need some help here! Come on, boys! Take this cocksucker out!
Как Саки переведем как... Сукин сын, заебись. У меня девушка, кстати, тоже как Саки.
This cocksucker is smarter than he looks!
Да ебать, мне там анимация всратая.
On your ass! Who said you could throw dynamite?
О. Бля, он думал в другой стороне.
More dynamite than you!
Видите?
So that's how Henry Plummer died. Him and his crew were worth their weight in gold. And now, I was officially a bounty hunter.
So, did you finally go after that Bob feller?
Well, I heard word he was in Kansas with John Wesley Hardin. So that's where I went.
Where in Kansas?
Abilene. Why do you ask, Ben?
No reason.
Was Hardin as fast as Ringo?
Ringo was fast, but John Wesley was as fast as the devil himself.
Пушки дается просто. Открой.
Hell, he killed his first man at 15. From that day forward, he had a price on his head and wouldn't back down for nobody, not even Wild Bill Hickok himself.
Мне на самом деле качество стрима дико нравится. Она такое красивенькое, топовое.
I dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different. I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley.
I thought the Texas Rangers got hardened.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe. It was cold in a witch's tit and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal compadres to the very same saloon we're sitting in today. Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was waiting for me, and... Wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch. He deserves that much. Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a
Убивать, 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 убивать,
He was a
убивать,
bona fide
убивать,
folk hero
убивать,
by then,
убивать.
and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and
Извините,
other
вкусная
assorted
коровка.
thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town,
Быстрей.
and I was hoping Bob was among them.
Блять, не то!
Shoot that son of a bitch!
Я не то сделал, блять.
I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friend. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the bull's head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcomed presence. I wondered if Bob was among them.
Упс. Башку. Да, блять, сука, я хотел сейчас башку ему дать и сказать, на тебе ебало. Зели как играть, блять. Сука, вот же мудак, блять.
Better 3 hours early than a minute too late.
Damn it! Shoot that son of a bitch!
Пиздец, блять, ты увернулся нахуй, да все? Здрасте.
Tell Hardin someone's coming for him! Man, stop that son of a bitch!
Ай, блять! Ты живой?
Let the boys know we got another law dog.
Он там, он это сделал.
I'm putting you...
О, я секредом это не взял. Азартная игра с Дикого Запада. Что я могу зачитать? Что там? Блять! А, не, все. Тут будет у них где-то план, по-моему. Ну да, у них где-то тут. Только не помню где. Давайте сейчас. Обычно потом пистолет найдем. Тут у них где-то должен быть нарисованный план. Только, сука, где он нарисован? Сука, дед уже задыхается нахуй. Блять, не тут. Ладно, короче, я думаю закончить. Стрим был прикольненький, веселенький, нахуй. Чисто так вот. Посмотрите, как я на ссылки иду, всякое такое. Сейчас я зачитаю. Запад был далеким и обширным, и поэтому его населяли искатели приключений, авантюристы и золотоискатели всех мастей. Особенно последние, где было золото или при отсутствии благородного металла хотя бы пара долларов. Там были возможности их потратить. Ни кукурузные виски, ни салонные девочки не были бесплатными, однако владельцы баров предоставляли еще и третью форму развлечения. Только они, по крайней мере, в теории предлагали возможность быстро приумножить содержимое любого кошелька. Азартные игры. Столы могли быть заняты любой игрой, однако самыми популярными был покер, кросси и любимый всеми фараон. Когда начиналась игра, там обычно возникали обвинения в шулерстве. Надо честно признать, в большинстве случаев они были не безосновательными, жульничали все. Дилеры, игроки, главным трюком было сделать это так, чтобы не быть увлеченным. Б заключался в том, чтобы обвинять в мошенничестве других игроков и не дать им обвинить самого шулера. Естественно, одной только уверенности было мало, но хороший револьвер и молниеносный рефлекс отлично ее дополняли. Вот почему знаменитые игроки вошли в историю как и умелые стрелки. Знаменитости Запада, такие как Док Холлидей, Вес Хардин и Дикий Билл Хикок полностью соответствовали этому описанию. Ладно, короче, спасибо. С этим заканчиваю. Спасибо всем, спокойной ночи и пока.